Let's now shift our attention to what is happening in the United States of America, where the state of Illinois has effectively turned into a battleground. Now, 200 National Guard troops have arrived in the blue state as Trump has accused the Democrat-led state administration of failing to protect the ICE officials amidst unsubstantiated accusations of a rising crime in the city. The drone footage shows the National Guard troops at El Ud, U.S. Army Reserve Center near Chicago. And the deployment has come after orders from the American president, who has accused the state administration of not being able to control crime rates in the state of Illinois, particularly in Chicago. And just a short while back, the American president on social media called for the arrest of the Illinois governor and the Chicago mayor. Trump said, and I quote him here, Chicago's mayor should have been in jail for failing to protect the ICE officers, and Governor Pritzker also. The latest statements have come hours after the American president accused his political rivals of being insurrectionists.
Because these Democrats are like insurrectionists, okay? They're so bad for our country. Their policy is so bad for our country.
Now, both sides of the political and ideological divide have accused each other of inciting a civil war, invoking the 1861 clash when an estimated 750,000 people had died in what was supposed to be to forge what would be a more perfect union. In fact, Randy Fine, a Republican congressman from Florida, said in a post on social media that the country is getting awfully close to the situation that was there in 1861. Now, Chicago's mayor, Brandon Johnson, wrote, and I quote him here, "The right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War. The president has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America," unquote. The development has come after a federal judge in Illinois had declined to immediately block the National Guard deployment. Instead, the presiding judge has scheduled for a full hearing for Thursday. And this decision contradicts another order in which a judge in Oregon had temporarily halted a deployment in Portland. The city of Chicago and the state of Illinois had sued Trump on Monday to block the National Guard troops' deployment. Now, Trump warned that he could in fact use the Insurrection Act if states and cities hinder the deployment of the National Guard. The American president has already sent troops onto the streets of Los Angeles and Washington, D.C., highlighting the scale of crime to justify the deployment. So what do the people of Chicago think about this? Well, their reactions appear to be mixed. While some have cited high crime rates and the need for the troop deployment, others feel that this is quite clearly a case of overreach by the American president. Listen in.
I think of ICE is the President Trump way of cleaning up and, you know, giving the citizens, that the people that's here that want to be here, a chance to get in because they got so much connection, they throwing us away. You know, we take us forever just to get one thing, and they just get everything. That's what I feel, but some of them are nice because they live in our area.
So what I think that is terrible, I've been here like 5 months. I'm new in this city. I love the country, I love the city, I love the Chicago style, but I think that Trump is not a good decision because I've been learning the history of the country, and I know that the Chicago is like an immigrant city, born like that. So it's something contradictory to send or make propaganda about the immigrants are bad or they are destroying our country. So it's a little ridiculous.
Could be good and bad. I mean, crime might go down a little bit, but people won't feel safe walking around. I don't know, man.
All right, now to give us more updates in terms of what, of course, is playing out on the streets within cities across the United States, we're joined by our correspondent Susan Tehrani, who's joining us live from New York. Susan, we just heard that soundbite by Donald Trump where he said that these Democrats are just insurrectionists. That is the language that he's using to describe his political opponents. And there's also this strident rhetoric that this is now leading up to a situation that could effectively be a rematch of what happened in 1861. Firstly, give us a sense of what the situation is like in Illinois and also in the streets of Chicago, and then tell us why is it that the politicians there are dubbing this to be a potential civil war.
Because politicians over there have failed time and again to keep a city like Chicago safe. It's been decades in the ruins, and the people are frustrated. As I said yesterday, notably Chicago's South Side. Everyone in the United States knows Chicago needs help. But this particular issue right now is at the height of the debate because immigration plays into it. ICE authorities are essentially not able to carry out the operations they need to carry out safely because not only the politicians, but there are gang members now putting bounty and money on the heads of ICE agents for people to go and get them and then get paid because they don't want the immigration crackdown to happen. So while there are peaceful protests, there are those that oppose what President Trump is doing, but the violence is coming, as I mentioned, not only from gangs, but also from organized groups who are doxing and putting the families of law enforcement at risk. So essentially their hands are tied. As for the politicians there, well, they don't want the spotlight on their city because it just shows that their policies have failed. But nonetheless, as we saw during those sound bites, there are two camps always here in the United States. It's really far-fetched to say that there's going to be a civil war. But nonetheless, many believe that this is a presidential outreach. Donald Trump is doing way too much for something like this. And others are just throwing their hands up in the air and saying that, well, if not this, then what? Then what is the solution ultimately for some peace in these cities?
Indeed. Thank you very much, Susan Tehrani, for joining us with all those updates then. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.